Hello, Truth Seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, the truth is that you have been running away from yourself your whole life, and you will continue to run away from the truth of who you are. The truth of who you are is the consciousness, and the nature of the consciousness is conscious, empty, void, nothing, silence. This silence is so intense, so powerful that you could not handle it at this moment. And the reason you could not handle yourself, could not handle your true nature, is because you are so occupied in the noise, the worldly noise, the mental noise, the emotional noise. The noise feels home right now, isn't it? Even you are struggling with the noise, you feel okay. You feel okay to be in the noise because the silence is unbearable. That's the reality, isn't it? However, because of the struggle in the world and the inner struggle, we are now associated with the spiritual journey, hoping the spiritual journey will make us be free from the mind, free from the mental noise, the emotional noise. It can, but we need to know what kind of path can help us to be free from our own mental and emotional um, noise. The real journey is about dismantling the noise, not controlling the noise. We need to figure out why we listen to the noise, why we like the noise, why we give in to the noise. We need to figure out the root cause of associating with the mental noise. Not just that, we have to dismantle the root altogether until nothing is left. That's the whole journey of being free from the worldly noise and our own mental noise. But this is not the scenario in the spiritual journey, isn't it? You think you are embracing the silence in your spiritual journey, especially when you sit quietly. You're hoping for something. That hoping for something itself is a starting of the mental identification. The mind is there. That's not a dissolution of the mind. But that can be the start. Sitting quietly is the start. Building up to embrace the emptiness. But if the dismantling work is not there, sitting in the silence doesn't help to dissolve the pre-existing fear that is already within everybody. If you are missing the truth, what we have is the fear. You might be aware in the world, but the fear is still there. So we need to tackle the fear, uproot the fear from its root until nothing is left. So after being quiet, there's another work needed to be done. So don't hope that quietly sitting is going to grace you to see the truth. It's not going to happen. So you need to go further. And nowadays, meditation is the trend. Everybody is associating with the meditation. And this is what people don't realize is that meditation is still happening with the mental identification. Any meditation can help you anchor. It can move you from the place of chaotic mind to simple mind. You're settled in the body. You can settle in the mind. You feel settled from any meditation practice. But that simple mind is not truth. The simple mind is not who you are. To see the truth of who you are, you have to go beyond the simple mind. Holding the simple mind and being mindful in the world, being mindful of yourself is not enough. It's not enough. Sitting in a meditation with the technique, mental identification is still a dot. You cannot be lost in that dot, especially when that meditation technique is giving you a positive experience. It's so easy to attach to that positive experience and getting attached to the technique and prolong the technique. You can do that if you like, but I will tell you the truth that that technique will not lead you to see the truth of who you are, because that attachment itself is now another fear in your life. That dot is the layer that blocks you that blocks you not to see the truth, the plain sight truth. It makes it impossible to reclaim the truth of who you are. That dot, that mental identification, is avoiding the true nature of who you are, the silent observer, the empty self. Yes, you are the empty self. That dot, the mental identification to control the body and mind, is away from the truth, is simply ignoring who you are. So be aware that the true freedom, or reclaiming the true nature of who we are, is about stepping back away from all the layers of the mind. Mental, emotional, all layers must be dismantled, or we got to step back away from it. And only way, I would say, only way to disengage from the layers is by seeing the nature of the layers. So that's why we need to dismantle to see it. Especially when you're so attached to your meditation practice, that itself is the avoidance of the truth of who you are. Try sitting with yourself doing nothing. That could be the start. Sit and do nothing. I know sitting itself is doing, isn't it? But that's the start. You got to do to undo. So sit and do nothing. And when something arises in your mind and makes you distract from doing nothing, now you can investigate on what makes you lose your practice, what makes you give up the sitting practice. That The idea that distracts you, that idea is just not idea. That idea is coming from the place of fear, if you really investigate. The idea that makes you move away from who you are is the ingrained conditioning. So sit down and do nothing. Whatever idea arises in you first, you're listening to it, isn't it? You're giving up. Ask yourself, why is this important to me? Why is this idea important? This could be a simple way to figure out the root and uproot the root. The whole spiritual journey, the real spiritual journey, is about tracing the mind backward from every angle, every friction that you go through, every fear you experience, every attachment you are attached to. You have to investigate those experiences and you have to trace it back. And when you trace it back, your experience, no matter which angle you're tracing back from, you'll always end up in the same place of no mind. And this is the way to understand or to realize the nature of the mind. And it is important to see that. You will understand how the mind comes into existence, how the mind becomes real, how you give in to your mind. You will realize that. You realize mind is simply the pattern world. When you are thorough in the mind, then when you ask yourself, who am I? And that's where you click. That's where you will catch the truth. And that's where the ego gives up. And that's where you embrace the truth of who you are. You embrace the silent observer. You become the silent observer after that. The silent observer is conscious. And that's the key to life. Another thing is that, notice, we are seeking freedom when we are free, right? When we are free, when there's a gap of no noise, we fill in that gap with the noise right away, isn't it? So isn't that contradicting our own, the path to freedom? Nowadays, we can be in the room by ourselves, isn't it? We can disengage from another human being and we can be lonely by ourselves. But that is not lonely, right? In this modern world. Why? Because even you are lonely in the room, your mind is filled with the mental drama. Not just that, you have the phone in your hand. That phone is the world. The world is in your hand. So you're not actually lonely. You're not actually in that quiet space. You are continuously stimulating yourself with that device. And you also think that I don't need another human being to enjoy the world. This is enough for me to enjoy my life. But this is not the true loneliness of accepting of who you are. You have to disengage from all the device. You have to disengage from the mind. So here's another exercise. If you cannot live without your phone, you're alone in the house, but that loneliness is not loneliness. The device is there. Now ask yourself, why am I afraid to let go of the device? So that's a direct way to see the fear. The holding on to something is a fear. So you can investigate that as well. So again, we contradict ourselves in the spiritual journey. The spiritual journey is about emptying ourselves to get to the silent observer, to reclaim the silent observer. But we hold on to this and that in the meditation, in the quiet practice, or when we are alone. We're always filling up that void, emptiness with something. So that is a contradiction. So anyway, the simple way to get to reclaim the truth of who you are, the observer self, is tracing the mind backward, tracing your experience backward, tracing your fear, tracing your attachment backward. Working on your attachment and fear backward, inward, is the simple way to see the root cause of holding on to the surface preference, and we got to dismantle the root all the way. Okay, that's the journey. So stop running. Running is never the solution. Facing and figuring out the root and dismantling the root is a true solution to live your life fearlessly, to live life with ease. Okay? Anyway, I hope this video makes sense to you to some extent. Yeah. If you see your spiritual journey is not helping you, think about it. Okay? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye.